First contact deception. The quantum communication array hidden beneath the Atacama Desert registered the alien transmission exactly 3 years before humanity was supposed to discover it. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the data streaming across her holographic display, her heart racing as she realized the implications. The message appeared to be a standard first contact greeting, broadcasting on frequencies that Earth's official technology shouldn't be able to detect for decades. Director Matthews needs to see this immediately, she whispered to herself, but her quantum-encrypted Neural link had already forwarded the alert to the International Defense Council's headquarters beneath Geneva. The Nexari ship emerged from faster-than-light travel just beyond Mars' orbit exactly as predicted. To the world's civilian population, it appeared to be humanity's first contact with an advanced alien civilization. News channels worldwide broadcast the same carefully crafted story. A mysterious vessel had been detected by conventional radio telescopes, approaching Earth with what appeared to be peaceful intentions. What the public didn't know, what only a select few thousand individuals across the planet were aware of, was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for over 15 years. The Quantum Detection Network, disguised as a series of seismological research stations, had picked up the first traces of Nexari scout probes in 2042. Since then, Earth had orchestrated the greatest deception in human history. Admiral James Chen, Sarah's father and commander of Earth's hidden fleet, stood in the Strategic Command Center beneath Mount Cheyenne, watching as the Nexari vessel approached the predetermined contact point. The massive chamber, officially listed as a deep storage facility for nuclear waste, housed the nerve center of humanity's true defensive capabilities. "Status report on Operation Looking Glass," he commanded, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. Colonel Maria Rodriguez, head of counterintelligence, stepped forward. "The surface show is proceeding as planned, sir. Our primitive space station is in position, crewed by specially trained actors from the Deception Corps. The Nexari are scanning exactly what we want them to see, a barely spacefaring civilization struggling to maintain a basic orbital presence. The real International Space Station had been decommissioned years ago, replaced by this elaborate prop designed to reinforce humanity's carefully crafted image of technological inadequacy. Behind the scenes, Earth's actual space capabilities were far more advanced, hidden in underground bases and caverns on the far side of the moon." The Nexari vessel, a sleek crystalline structure nearly 2 kilometers in length, took up position in high Earth orbit. Their first transmission was exactly as intelligence had predicted, a message of peace and friendship, offering to help guide humanity into the galactic community. Admiral Chen allowed himself a grim smile. "Begin Phase 2 of the protocol. Let's give our visitors the show they're expecting." Around the world, carefully choreographed celebrations erupted. Political leaders made inspiring speeches about humanity's bright future among the stars. Scientific organizations released carefully doctored data showing their amazement at the advanced technology of their alien visitors. Social media exploded with carefully seated discussions and debates, all designed to reinforce the Nexari's preconceptions. In reality, quantum computers hidden in abandoned mine shafts were analyzing every byte of data the aliens transmitted, breaking their encryption and revealing their true intentions. The Nexari's seemingly benevolent messages contained hidden protocols designed to map Earth's defenses and infrastructure. Their offers of technological assistance were laced with backdoors and trojans that would have given them control of any system that implemented them. Dr. Sarah Chen's team had decoded the Nexari's true mission within hours of their arrival. This wasn't first contact, it was reconnaissance for invasion. The Nexari Empire had a well-documented history of absorbing primitive civilizations, though they had carefully erased these records from their public databases. Unfortunately for them, humanity's quantum AI systems had already reconstructed their entire military history from fragments of encrypted data left in their communication protocols. The deception continued for months. Earth accepted small technological gifts from the Nexari, appearing suitably impressed and grateful. They allowed their visitors to establish a small diplomatic presence, making sure to display just enough internal political strife and technological incompetence to reinforce the Nexary's sense of superiority. Meanwhile, deep beneath the surface, humanity's real technological advances accelerated. The Nexary's presence provided a wealth of data about their systems, weaknesses, and tactical doctrine. Every seemingly innocent diplomatic exchange was analyzed for military intelligence. Every technological gift was reverse-engineered not just for its obvious applications, but for the subtle weaknesses built into its design. 1 year into the cultural exchange, Admiral Chen received the alert he had been waiting for. The Nexary fleet was mobilizing, just as predicted. Thousands of warships were gathering in nearby star systems, preparing for what they thought would be a swift conquest of another primitive world. In his command center, Admiral Chen opened a secure channel to the Defense Council. The Nexary have taken the bait. They're following the exact invasion pattern we extracted from their historical data. Recommend we proceed with Phase 3. The Council's response was unanimous. Around the world, hidden facilities hummed to life. In underground hangars, advanced weapon systems powered up. On the dark side of the moon, cloaked shipyards began final preparations on humanity's real fleet. The greatest trap in military history was about to be sprung. Dr. Sarah Chen made one final check of the quantum entanglement network that would coordinate Earth's response. As she worked, she remembered something her father had told her when she first joined the defense program. The greatest advantage humans have is that everyone underestimates us. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own worst impulses. We've learned to be patient, to plan, to prepare. The Nexary think they're hunting prey, but they're about to learn what it means to wake a sleeping giant. The Nexary Empire was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden technology or their secret fleet. It was their ability to turn an enemy's arrogance into a weapon against them. The trap was set, and Earth was ready for what would become known throughout the galaxy as the greatest military deception since the Trojan horse. Phase 3 was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. Operation Shadow Web. The Atacama quantum array wasn't the only one that detected the Nexary fleet's arrival. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Maya Patel watched as thousands of quantum signatures blazed to life across her monitoring station's holographic display. The Nexary had finally shown their true colors, bringing a force that would have overwhelmed any normal planetary defense system. But Earth's defenses were far from normal. Shadow Web activation protocols initiated, Maya announced through the quantum-encrypted command network. Across the planet, seemingly innocuous structures began their transformation. Wind farms that had appeared to be simple renewable energy projects revealed their true nature as gravitic defense arrays. Solar panel installations in the Sahara Desert shifted, panels realigning to form a massive energy collection grid for Earth's planetary shield system. In orbit, dozens of defunct satellites suddenly powered up, their primitive radio transmitters masking advanced quantum weaponry. The International Defense Council had spent decades building Earth's real defensive infrastructure, hiding it in plain sight beneath a carefully constructed veneer of civilian technology. Colonel Rodriguez stood in her command center beneath Mount Cheyenne, watching as Operation Shadow Web came fully online. Status report on the Nexary fleet's approach vector. They're following the exact attack pattern we projected. Lieutenant David Nash responded, his hands dancing across the quantum interface. Their ships are arranging themselves in their standard invasion formation, a spherical shell designed to prevent planetary escape. They still think we're a pre-spaceflight civilization with no real defensive capabilities. The corner of Rodriguez's mouth twitched in a slight smile. How considerate of them to bunch up so nicely for us. Status on our lunar facilities. Dark side shipyards are at full readiness, Colonel. Admiral Chen's fleet is powered up and waiting in their concealed positions. All ships report quantum shielding is functioning at optimal levels. The Nexary sensors still can't detect them. The true scope of humanity's preparation was staggering. While the world's attention had been focused on private companies launching commercial satellites and building lunar mining operations, The Defense Council had been constructing something far more ambitious. Every civilian space mission for the past 15 years had carried hidden components. Every lunar mining operation had concealed military installations beneath its industrial facade. On the far side of the moon, massive hangars housed humanity's real space fleet. These vessels weren't the clumsy chemical rockets the world showed to its alien visitors. They were advanced warships powered by zero-point energy drives, their hulls constructed of metamaterials that absorbed or redirected any scanning attempts. Their weapons were based on principles that the Nexeri thought humanity wouldn't discover for centuries. But the ships were just one part of Operation Shadowweb. The real surprise lay in the defense system's true nature. It wasn't just a military platform. It was a trap. Every component had been designed not just to defend Earth, but to exploit specific weaknesses in Nexeri technology that humanity had discovered during their year of cultural exchange. Dr. Maya Patel's team had spent that year analyzing every piece of technology the Nexeri had gifted to humanity. They had found exactly what they expected: subtle vulnerabilities and backdoors built into every system. The Nexeri had assumed Earth would eagerly adopt their superior technology, never realizing that humans were using these gifts to map out the aliens' entire technological foundation. "All shadow web nodes report ready," Maya announced. "Quantum entanglement network is stable. We can deploy the full system within 30 seconds of the attack command." In the Strategic Command Center, Admiral Chen received the status reports with grim satisfaction. The Nexeri fleet was now fully committed to their attack vector, their ships arranged in what their tactical doctrine considered an optimal invasion formation. They had no way of knowing that this formation was exactly what Earth's defenses had been designed to counter. "Begin final countdown for Phase 3, Chen ordered. "Transmit the surrender demand response on my mark." The plan was elegant in its simplicity. The Nexeri would demand Earth's surrender, expecting either capitulation or futile resistance from a primitive civilization. Instead, they would receive a carefully crafted response, one final piece of bait to draw them into perfect position for humanity's trap. Around the planet, disguised defense installations continued their silent transformation. Quantum computers hidden in underground bunkers ran final simulations, refining targeting solutions. The thousands of dead satellites in orbit adjusted their positions by millimeters, aligning themselves for maximum effect. In her Antarctic command center, Maya watched the final preparations with a mixture of pride and anticipation. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, building the most elaborate defensive system in history. The Nexeri thought they were springing a trap on a helpless planet. Instead, they were flying straight into humanity's web. "All shadow web components report ready for full deployment," Maya announced. "Quantum shielding is active and undetected. Gravitic arrays are charged and masked. Energy collection grids are at maximum capacity, waiting for execution order." Admiral Chen nodded, his expression stern. "Prepare to transmit our response to their surrender demand. Let's show our visitors what happens when they mistake patience for weakness." The trap was set. Phase 3 was about to begin, and the Nexeri were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden technology. It was their ability to turn an enemy's own arrogance against them. The next few hours would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The Nexeri Gambit. High Admiral Vexthor of the Nexeri Empire stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dawn, watching with cold satisfaction as his fleet settled into attack formation around the primitive world called Earth. The intelligence gathered during their diplomatic mission had confirmed everything their initial surveys suggested. A young species, barely able to reach their own moon, still dependent on fossil fuels and chemical rockets. "Send the standard surrender demand," he ordered, his crystalline command interface pulsing with his words. "Give them the usual 10 minutes to accept our generous offer of integration into the Empire." Below him on Earth, Admiral Chen received the transmission in his command center. "Right on schedule," he murmured. "Begin Operation Checkmate." The response that reached Vexthor's ship exactly 9 minutes later was a single text message in perfect Nexari language. "Thank you for the invitation. Our counter-proposal follows." Before Vexthor could process the strange reply, his sensor officer's crystalline form suddenly flickered with alarm. "High Admiral, multiple energy signatures detected. The humans, they're activating something." Across Earth's surface, Operation Shadow Web revealed its true nature. The wind farms that had seemed like primitive renewable energy projects transformed, their turbines splitting apart to reveal advanced graviton pulse arrays. The solar farms in the Sahara rippled as panels realigned, forming a massive energy collection and transmission grid. Thousands of supposedly defunct satellites simultaneously shed their disguises, revealing quantum-based weapon systems. But these were just the obvious distractions. The real attack came from systems the Nexari couldn't even detect. Quantum-entangled particles, embedded in their ships during the cultural exchange, activated simultaneously. Critical systems across the Nexari fleet began failing as carefully crafted quantum algorithms exploited weaknesses that humanity had discovered in their technology. Impossible. Vexthor raged as reports of system failures flooded in. "They're primitives. They can't have this level of technology." In her Antarctic command center, Dr. Maya Patel allowed herself a grim smile as she watched the quantum interference patterns spread through the Nexari fleet. Phase 3 primary attack successful. Their quantum encryption is compromised. Initiating secondary protocols. The next wave of humanity's response came from the moon. The massive mining facilities on the dark side suddenly disappeared as holographic camouflage deactivated, revealing state-of-the-art shipyards. Hundreds of Earth warships, their existence completely hidden until this moment, powered up their zero-point energy drives. Admiral Chen's voice echoed through the quantum command network. "All ships, execute attack pattern Sierra. Show them what humanity's been hiding." Earth's fleet emerged from their lunar hiding places, their hulls covered in metamaterials that absorbed or redirected any scanning attempts. Their weapons were based on principles the Nexari thought humanity wouldn't discover for centuries. Principles Earth's scientists had decoded from studying the vulnerabilities in Nexari technology. On the Eternal Dawn's bridge, Vexthor watched in horror as his carefully planned invasion dissolved into chaos. The humans weren't just fighting back. They were systematically dismantling his fleet's capabilities using technologies that shouldn't exist. "How?" he demanded. "How did they hide all this?" The answer came in another text message, this one accompanied by detailed schematics of the Nexari fleet's weaknesses. "We learned from the best. Your cultural exchange was very educational." In the chaos of the battle, Colonel Rodriguez's counterintelligence team launched their final deception. Hidden transmitters activated across the solar system, broadcasting detailed technical data about Earth's defensive capabilities, all of it carefully crafted misinformation designed to send ripples of panic through the Nexari command structure. The Nexari fleet's formation, designed to prevent planetary escape, had become a deadly trap. Their ships were packed too closely together, making them perfect targets for Earth's gravitic pulse arrays. The quantum interference was spreading from ship to ship through their own communication networks, turning their advanced technology against them. "Target their command and control nodes," Admiral Chen ordered. "Let's show them what happens when you mistake patience for weakness." Earth's ships moved with precision that shocked the Nexari commanders. Every tactic they attempted was countered before it could be fully implemented. Every weakness they tried to exploit in Earth's defenses turned out to be another carefully laid trap. In the Antarctic Command Center, Maya watched as the quantum interference patterns reached critical mass. Nexari fleet quantum cohesion is failing. Their ships are losing central coordination. The Nexari Empire had made a fatal mistake. They had assumed that humanity's apparent technological backwardness was genuine. They never considered that they were facing an enemy who had spent decades preparing specifically to counter their technology, their tactics, and their assumptions. "Final phase of Operation Checkmate authorized," Admiral Chen announced. Show them the full capability of Shadow Web. Around Earth, the transformed defense installations powered up to their full capacity. The graviton pulse arrays synchronized, creating overlapping fields that disrupted the Nexeri ship's gravitic drives. The energy collection grid in the Sahara channeled its power into weapons that the Nexeri had thought impossible for humanity to develop. As his fleet crumbled around him, High Admiral Vexthor finally understood the truth. The humans hadn't just prepared for this battle, they had orchestrated every moment of it, from first contact to this final confrontation. Every piece of intelligence the Nexeri had gathered had been carefully crafted to lead them into this trap. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden technology or their secret fleet. It was their patience, their ability to plan, and their talent for turning an enemy's arrogance into a weapon against them. The Nexeri gambit had failed, and the consequences would reshape the balance of power throughout known space. Counter-Strike Protocol. The quantum command network pulsed with new data as Earth's forces pressed their advantage. High Admiral Vexthor's once mighty invasion fleet had been reduced to scattered battle groups, their sophisticated command and control systems crippled by humanity's quantum interference attacks. But Admiral Chen knew better than to underestimate a wounded enemy. Begin Counter-Strike Protocol, Chen ordered, his voice calm despite the chaos unfolding in space around Earth. Let's show them what humanity can really do when we stop pretending. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice came through the quantum link from her position in the Atacama Command Center, initiating prototype deployment. Ghost swarms are ready for launch. From hidden silos across Earth's surface, thousands of small dark objects emerged. To the Nexeri's compromised sensors, they appeared to be simple debris, pieces of destroyed satellites and space junk. In reality, they were humanity's most advanced autonomous weapon systems, developed in secret over the past decade. The ghost swarms were a perfect fusion of Earth's greatest technological achievements, quantum computing cores married to metamaterial shells that could alter their physical properties on demand. Each drone was barely larger than a human hand, but carried more computing power than the Nexeri's largest battleships. Colonel Rodriguez watched from her tactical station as the swarms deployed, ghost units executing attack pattern Delta. The Nexeri still can't track them effectively. The ghost swarms moved like schools of fish through space, their quantum-linked processors allowing them to act with perfect coordination. They slipped through the gaps in Nexeri shields, gaps that Earth scientists had identified during months of careful observation. Where they touched Nexeri hull plating, advanced nanomachines began their work, transforming the aliens' own ship materials into weapons against them. On the bridge of the Eternal Dawn, Vexthor watched in horror as entire sections of his remaining fleet began to disintegrate. "What sorcery is this?" he demanded. "Their level of technological advancement is impossible." The answer came in another text message, accompanied by detailed schematics of the ghost swarms. "Not impossible, Admiral. Just carefully hidden. Your Empire's greatest weakness is your certainty that you've seen everything we can do." Maya's voice cut through the command network. "Phase 4 of Shadow Web is ready. Permission to deploy the graviton cascade." Admiral Chen nodded grimly. "Execute." The transformed wind farms on Earth's surface hummed with power as they generated overlapping graviton fields. In space, these invisible forces combined in ways that the Nexeri had thought theoretically impossible. Their ships, designed to manipulate gravity for propulsion and defense, found themselves trapped in a web of conflicting gravitational forces. You know what the truly ironic part is. Sarah Chen's voice carried a note of satisfaction as she addressed the Nexeri command channel. "We developed most of this technology by studying the gifts you gave us. Every backdoor you built into those systems became a window into your technological foundations." The ghost swarms continued their relentless attack, targeting the Nexeri fleet's most vital systems. Ships that had survived humanity's initial assault found themselves being systematically dismantled from the inside out. The nanomachines spread from vessel to vessel through debris clouds, turning the Nexeri's own technology against them. Lieutenant Nash's voice came through the quantum network. "Sir, we're detecting power spikes in the remaining Nexeri capital ships. They appear to be preparing for an emergency FTL jump." Admiral Chen's expression hardened. "Not this time. Execute Counter-Strike Protocol Final Phase. Show them why you don't corner a species that survived everything Earth has thrown at us." Around the solar system, hidden quantum beacons activated. These devices, planted by automated probes disguised as comets and asteroids, created a web of spatial distortions that made FTL travel impossible within their range. The Nexeri fleet was trapped, their every attempt at escape or counterattack anticipated and countered by humanity's interwoven defensive systems. The ghost swarms continued their work, reducing mighty warships to drifting hulks. The graviton cascade fields tightened, crushing the remaining resistance with inexorable force. In her Antarctic command center, Maya watched the quantum interference patterns reach their final stage. Nexeri fleet cohesion has completely collapsed. Their remaining ships are losing power. The ghost swarms have achieved total system penetration. High Admiral Vexthor stood on his failing bridge, watching as Earth's true military might revealed itself. The humans hadn't just outfought them. They had outfought them at every turn. Every Nexeri tactic had been anticipated, every technological advantage nullified by careful preparation and clever innovation. "Send the surrender signal," he ordered, his crystalline form dimming with defeat, "before they show us what else they've been hiding." Admiral Chen received the Nexeri surrender with grim satisfaction. "Stand down Counter-Strike Protocol," he ordered, "but keep Shadow Web at full readiness. I suspect we'll be receiving more visitors once word of this reaches the wider galaxy." The battle was over, but humanity's revelation to the galaxy was just beginning. Earth had demonstrated not just advanced technology, but a level of strategic thinking that would send shockwaves through interstellar civilization. They had proven that patience, preparation, and the ability to learn from one's enemies were more powerful than raw technological superiority. As the ghost swarms herded the surrendered Nexeri ships into containment formations, Sarah Chen began composing humanity's first true message to the galaxy at large. It would be brief, but its meaning would be clear. To all spacefaring civilizations, Earth is not what we've pretended to be. We are not primitive, we are not helpless, and we are not to be underestimated. The Nexeri Empire learned this lesson today. We trust others will take note. The age of humanity hiding its true capabilities was over. The galaxy would never be the same. Paradigm shift. 1 month after the Battle of Earth, the galaxy was still reeling from the implications of humanity's victory. The quantum communication arrays that had once hidden Earth's true capabilities now openly monitored the reactions spreading through interstellar civilization. The news traveled faster than light itself. A supposedly primitive species had not only defeated the Nexeri Empire's invasion fleet, but had revealed technological capabilities that rivaled or surpassed those of the oldest spacefaring races. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the newly unveiled Global Defense Headquarters, no longer hidden beneath the Atacama Desert, but proudly displayed as a symbol of human achievement. The holographic displays showed the diplomatic chaos unfolding across known space. The Nexeri Empire, once among the most powerful forces in the galaxy, had withdrawn to its core systems, its reputation shattered. The latest intelligence updates from the quantum network are fascinating, she reported to Admiral Chen. 3 different alien civilizations have already abandoned their own plans to peacefully integrate primitive worlds. It seems our message was received quite clearly. Admiral Chen nodded, studying the strategic overview. The captured Nexeri ships hung in orbit around Earth, their crews repatriated but their technology now being openly studied by human scientists. And the other responses? Mixed, Colonel Rodriguez interjected, joining them at the command center. Some species are terrified, convinced we must have been secretly advanced for millennia. Others are intrigued, especially those who've suffered from Nexeri expansion in the past. But they all want to know the same thing. How did we hide it all? The answer to that question had become something of a legend in diplomatic circles. Humanity hadn't just developed advanced technology. They had created an entirely new approach to interstellar relations. The ability to appear primitive while maintaining sophisticated capabilities, to learn from potential enemies while appearing to be students, had revolutionized the concept of planetary defense. Dr. Maya Patel's voice came through the quantum network from her position at the new Lunar Defense Academy. The most interesting reaction has been from the younger spacefaring races. They're calling it the Earth Doctrine, the idea that apparent technological level doesn't indicate actual capabilities. We've fundamentally changed how species will approach first contact. The implications went far beyond military concerns. Earth's strategy had demonstrated that patience and observation could be more powerful than brute force technology. The ghost swarms, graviton cascades, and quantum interference systems that had defeated the Nexari were impressive, but it was humanity's ability to plan, deceive, and learn that had truly won the day. We've received formal diplomatic requests from 27 different civilizations, Sarah continued. They all want to establish relations now that we've revealed our true nature. The Galactic Council has even suggested Earth should take the Nexari Empire's seat. Admiral Chen allowed himself a small smile. And what do we know about these civilizations that they haven't told us? Everything. Rodriguez answered with professional satisfaction. The Quantum Detection Network didn't just watch the Nexari. We've been gathering intelligence on every spacefaring race that's passed within 100 light-years of Earth. Old habits die hard. The aftermath of the battle had transformed Earth's position in the galaxy. The carefully maintained facade of primitive technology had been replaced by a new image. A civilization that had not only developed advanced technology, but had done so in complete secrecy, while learning from and countering potential threats. It was an achievement that commanded both respect and caution from the galactic community. In orbit, the ghost swarms continued their patrol patterns, now visible to all but no less effective for being known. The transformed defense installations across Earth's surface stood as testament to human ingenuity and determination. The quantum communication network extended its reach, gathering intelligence and maintaining humanity's new position of strength. The Arcturus Federation has an interesting proposal, Sarah noted, bringing up a new holographic display. They're suggesting a mutual defense pact. Apparently, they'd been maintaining a similar deception, though not quite as successfully as we did. They're impressed by our methods. Admiral Chen studied the proposal with interest. The galaxy is changing. The old paradigm of technological superiority equals dominance is breaking down. We've shown that innovation, patience, and the ability to learn from your adversaries are more important than raw power. Maya's voice carried a note of pride. The students at the Academy are already developing new applications for our deception technologies. The next generation of Earth's defenders won't just be hiding our capabilities. They'll be advancing them in ways the galaxy can't predict. The quantum networks hummed with activity as Earth continued its transformation from a seemingly primitive world to a recognized power in galactic politics. But unlike other rising civilizations, humanity had learned the value of appearing less capable than they were. The ghost swarms and defense arrays were impressive, but Earth's true strength lay in its ability to observe, learn, and prepare. We should arrange a proper diplomatic reception, Rodriguez suggested. Show our new allies and potential adversaries alike what Earth can do when we're not pretending to be primitive. But perhaps, she added with a knowing smile, not everything we can do. Sarah laughed. Old habits indeed. I suspect there are quite a few capabilities we should keep in reserve. After all, the galaxy is still full of surprises. As Earth prepared to take its place openly among the stars, the lesson of their victory resonated through space. Never underestimate a species that has learned to survive through patience, innovation, and the careful observation of its adversaries. The age of deception was over, but the age of human ingenuity was just beginning. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity was ready to help shape its new future, while keeping a few surprises in reserve, just in case.